Tempus here, hello and welcome to another weekly. Last week we talked a bit about ways to level, and this week we're going to talk about things you should do while leveling, particularly in preparing your character for max level. Thing about leveling is, if you want to get to max level then you have to do it. So why not prepare your character for max level while you level? How do you do this? Well, step 1, what do you need at max level? You need money. So you need to hoard up some gold if you play WoW, or platinum if you play Rift. Now I'm not saying grind non-stop for gold because that's just silly. But if you get gathering professions, you can grab resources along the path you must walk to level anyway. So grab the minerals, herbs and wood logs as you walk by them. Skin the beasts you need to kill anyway, and then sell it on the auction house. Keep in mind that if you play WoW, you will need to buy a skinning knife and mining pick for skinning and mining respectively. Also be sure to train every so often so you don't cap your profession skill level. While you kill mobs, you will also pick up various pieces of cloth like linen and wool. You definitely want to sell that too. On most servers, cloth can sell for a fair bit of coin, so you definitely don't want to vendor it. To speed up how you post your auctions, I have put links to add-ons on the curse page in the description, for both WoW and Rift. I will also be making some basic guides on how to use these add-ons, so make sure to subscribe and check those out. By gathering these materials and posting them on the auction house, you can make enough money to buy the fastest mounts in Rift and the fastest riding training in WoW. You definitely want to be able to move around as fast as you can. The faster your mounts go, the faster you can level, as your travel time will be lower. You also want to avoid buying low-level gear as much as possible. Often the gear you get from quest rewards is suitable for leveling, so save your cash for the endgame stuff like enchants. If you come across BOE or bind on equip gear, pop it on the auction house as well. You can score some more money. However, you do want to buy some decent bags so that you don't run out of inventory space. At the same time, you can create a level 1 and run it through to the capital city of your faction, and just use the mail system to send it items from your main characters. This is harder to do in Rift due to having to complete the starting area, but it makes life more convenient in the long run. Buy food and drink. In WoW and Rift, sometimes you are stuck at low health or mana, and you should always have food and drink for these moments, so you can just regen it and keep on going. Now this is less important in WoW than it is in Rift, as in Rift the monsters hit really hard, and you will often need a drink to replenish health. Use a spec that suits the way you level. Now I know in an earlier episode I said choose the spec that suits you, but if leveling as fast as possible is what you want, then it helps to have the best spec. Make sure to get PvP specs if you want to do non-stop battlegrounds and warfronts. If you want to do dungeons, you should always have a spec that suits your role. If you want to tank, get a good tank spec. If you want to heal, get a good healing spec, and so on. If you want to level through solo questing, then you want a balance of survivability and damage. Being able to do a ton of damage is great, but if you die every 5 seconds, you're not going to level very quickly. So get some more survivability. Having a pet that can tank makes it so you don't have to, as you can have him get beaten up while you pump out the damage. Make sure to train your spells so that you do more damage and don't fall behind. You should only need to train every few levels or so. Join a guild. Being in a guild in both WoW and Rift awards perks based on the level of the guild. Higher level guilds will allow you to level faster through perks that speed up run speed while dead, or reduce the cooldown on soul walk. Sometimes it's also nice to see some friendly chatter in the guild chat. If you need to log out, especially if you aren't going to play again for a while, park off in an inn or a capital city for some good old rest experience. Rest experience allows you to gain double experience for killing monsters. Beware though, it does cap at 1.5 levels, so don't just sit around forever. What do you plan on doing at maximum level? Do you want to do PvP non-stop, then do some warfronts or some battlegrounds now, so you can start accumulating that wonderful PvP currency? so that when you reach maximum level, not only do you know a bit more about PvP, but you also have some currency to buy some gear. The trouble with dungeons though, is that they don't tend to award max level currency until you're very close to max level. Again, for dungeons, it helps if you can get a good group together. Through guildies or friends, this speeds up your queue time, and at least you don't have the trauma of a random group because you wiped because the healer was on Facebook. He has a life, you know. However, in Rift, you can take on rifts. By completing them, you will gain endgame currency like Planarite, which is all good. Again, you want to balance it out with rifts. You want to do them if they are nice and close and easily soloable. But spending a couple of hours trying to solo a very, very difficult rift isn't a very good idea. Either get some help or just leave it alone. Most footholds are easily taken care of and award some quick EXP and some Planarite. If you really want to level through dungeons and or warfronts, then make sure to kill mobs, quest or gather while you're in the queue so you don't waste any time. That's all for this Tempus Weekly. Be sure to subscribe to be notified of new videos and post a comment telling me about some of your funny dungeon stories.